it is time to advance on the Forbidden World and finish this. I think I did warn you guys that this probably wasn't going to take the entire stream to finish this out. And, yeah, that actually is a thing. We are kind of buffed to the moon, basically. We are much, much stronger than the game would ever expect you to realistically get. But damn it, we had a cola bottle to get luck into. And damn it, we had other fights to do in the ninja chapter. So yeah, welcome back to the final area. We've been here before. We have definitely been here before. It's just, we were here as Orsted. We were here as Orsted, and we just kind of passed up all the side chambers and such, because getting the treasure then meant that the treasure would not be available for us to get now. And there are quite a few healing items and such that are actually kind of nice to have just as buffer. All the chests we deliberately left behind, yep. In this case, piles of bones. And a few chests, but mostly the piles of bones. As a matter of fact, if we took them in the other chapter, they would be weaker healing items. They're just weaker versions of whatever we're grabbing now. Wind scroll. You know, you gotta think these monsters would start getting annoyed by us. It's almost, you know, you could almost imagine that Orsted, hey, put out a bounty on, put out a bounty on these guys, and whoever brings me their head gets, untold riches. And all we're doing is being jerks and running away from every time they attempt to fight us. Could be. I honestly do not remember how truly zombie-like things are around here. I know all the people are dead. Orsted did kind of slaughter all the people. Passage for a thing. found Fudu Mayu's Fuda. I honestly do not remember what that is. Just an attack. Okay. Probably won't be using that. Healing items, yeah, I'll probably be using those, but the other stuff, not But, the demon offering them a bonus to kill the heroes. Hey, there's the other gold top knot. Just in case you wanted to walk all the way back and do Pogo's dungeon again. But honestly, I can only see the bonus as being the explanation for, you know, how tenacious the packs of enemies are to hit you every few steps. Should be. Yeah, check. But, you know. So the final room has a couple of treasures in it. I don't think they're anything super spectacular awesome. But, you know. I mean, the potion number 9 is definitely going to be somewhat useful. And some golden robes, which are kind of lower stat items. Lower stat versions of the items we're already wearing. And the encounter rate. I need repel. Yeah, nice battle sounds. So here we are in the statue room, which you may remember. And if you walk up and look at the statues of the bosses that, you know, of the characters in your party, they will comment. In Pogo's case, that's about all he can comment, because he knows like one word. And the other statues get no reaction. Because, well, I mean, think about it. Why would they? Let's open up this door. Let's take this passage up. Sundown's Bizarre Adventure, apparently. And walk up and, hello? Mr. Dio? So you can poke the statue. Not much is going to come from it. Like, at all. So, maybe we missed something. Or maybe we have a cutscene we got to watch out for. Over dramatic is one way to put it. And he's going to monologue at us. Which, we could accept that and bite on it. However, nah. We can just leave. Which is kind of hilarious, really, when you think about it. Walk all that way, get up to the big head boss and go, nah, I'm going to go over here first. Only doing that, it, kind of puts you here. Back at the very beginning of the chapter, at least location-wise. So you walk around here and it's pretty much exactly the same as it was, except after we walk for a few seconds, we get dialogue from something else that wants to kill us. The Head Plucker. Now, Head Plucker here is actually has incredibly high stats. Like, we're talking, you know, he has stats equivalent to some of our characters right now. That type of incredibly high, and he has a decent amount of hit points and defense and all that, yada yada yada. He also has one move in his arsenal. It's a melee attack, so he has to get up close to use it, but it will do significant damage, especially if you're not over-leveled like I am. However, notice he is 4 squares tall, and notice that the battlefield is 7 squares tall. So we can just use our tank, Pogo, kind of block the way completely to any other character, even trying to keep him from getting near any other character. Which doesn't do much, but he will use this, which hurts quite a bit. And the thing is, typically when he uses that, it debuffs the hell out of him. He just didn't use it that time. So, oh wait. Where is it? I didn't do something stupid and equip that, did I? I hope not. Looks like I did. Damn it. No, there it is. So you saw him do that and it debuffed him. Still hurts a lot. He's still using it and it's still debuffing him. So he's kind of kittenified himself without getting all the cuteness benefits of being a kitten kid. And that should be it. So yeah, if that attack didn't yeah, he basically crushes his own stats so we can kill him. And he drops the aerial boots, the final piece of aerial equipment. So just because. There we go. So now you may remember this section from the very beginning of this chapter, seeing as how we looked at it through all 7 characters. And the staircase is back, and it just kind of plops us right back wherever we initially showed up around here for. So the only catch to getting the final piece of aerial equipment is you got to walk all the way back, which really is not that much of a problem. It just takes you a little bit of extra time, and thankfully, because this is going as quickly as it is, time is not a concern on this stream today. Let's face it, we're barely over an hour in. We've already done every bonus thing left in the game. There's very little I didn't actually get to show off. And from everything I'm remembering, the little bit I did not get to show off is not really worth the effort to get sometimes. I mean, just for an example of the things I did not cover throughout the game, there's a in Masaru's chapter, there's a Watanabe scene, and we've kind of seen how the Watanabe scenes have gone. They're just kind of, yeah. But yeah, the Watanabe scene, not really worth it, not in my opinion, because you had to fight one of the tougher bosses, one of the tougher fighters, and you just kind of have to push him down into a corner and wait for him to use a certain technique and then win a dice roll, essentially. And Watanabe pops up and takes the hit, basically. At least that's how I remember it happening. So it really wasn't worth the probably 2 or 3 losses you would have to suffer through, or 2 or 3 wins where you'd have to reset and do it over again. before you could actually manage to even come close to pulling that off. And yet we didn't show the other students. We're technically only showing, you know, one protagonist through the end because the endings change ever so slightly. And by ever so slightly, I mean you get one different picture at the end of it all. And in some cases, you get a little extra speech here and there. Like, depending on who you have pick up the battery pack at the beginning of this chapter, some people won't recognize this at all. Pogo, I think, just kind of sniffs it and picks it up. Sundown just called it an iron box. Akira and Masaru are going to know what it is. Oboro, I don't remember what he calls it, but you know. That's about the level of thing that I just kind of skipped over. Just because I really didn't have any interest in continuing to show that off. Because it's a lot of work for, like, no payoff. So yeah, this little detour only took a few minutes. Of course, if I'd been fighting all the fights on my way up here, yeah, I'd probably get a hold of a few more healing items. I'd probably get, you know, a couple more levels, but really didn't need it. So here we are again. And if you run again, you get thrown to the same void, but there is no head plucker there to farm an item off of. So don't do that. Instead, walk up here and engage the guy in conversation, even though he's going to read like a Hot Topic commercial. And he's like, yeah, you're all heroes, but what has humanity done for you? And all Sundown here has to say is, well, you may be right. And I think there was more speech that got cut out there, but you may be right, but you're still wrong. I think was supposed to be the full speech. So now it's time for the fight. And get ready to attack a Persona 5 villain here. Kind of. Whereupon the first thing we need to do is get everybody kind of on the same side of the battlefield. Which comes with its own hazards, don't get me wrong. So, if you did read that right, you have 2 eyes, a mouth, and what they're calling a mole. Now, you can try to kill the mole. In fact, I'll even take a swing at it just to show you what happens. But this is Odio. I'll even take a swing at Odio's mole just to show you what happens in a second. But we need to get you over here. Oh no, you hit me for 95. Whatever will I do? Just to show you. We hit it for 4 damage. And it does this. Which doesn't hurt us, but it buffs everything else to the moon. And it healed itself for 1. The mole has about 997 hit points and typically takes 1 to 10 from anything and will heal itself every time you attack it. So, we don't want to mess with it. As a matter of fact, we could beat the mole. We could, but it would take a very, very long time. And, I don't want to do it that way because that's a cheap way to kill this boss. Instead, we want to focus on the eyes and the mouth, which Oburo here can hit all 3 with the bronze leaf as you just saw. And in retaliation for just about anything we do, this life eraser and things will try to petrify us. Thus the need for all the aerial equipment. And luckily we are boosted enough to hell that this is not going to be an impossible fight by any means. Go, hurricane shots. Yeah, we can still hit the eye. Yeah, the other eye is not happy. And your first priority really should be to get rid of the eyes because they have the stronger attacks. So the sooner you can do that, the better off you are. And now that we've done that, we get the best music in the game. And pure Odio reveals himself. And is going to sit there and start spamming a thing called Cancel Ray, whose main feature is to stop any attacks that are reliant on charging. So yeah, fun times there. Move you down a little bit. Yeah. And with our just severe levels of being over-leveled here, we're not in any real danger. And that's going to cancel out Bronze Leaf and the Hurricane Shot, annoying as that is. Which means Pogo probably gets to finish you off. Yep. And, we're not done yet. We're not done yet. And he says, okay, you win, now finish me. So, which choice do you think is the correct choice here? 'Cause I'm gonna make a save state. I'll make a save state right there. And we will see what happens if you select yes. You go into this and, he hits you for 1. You multi-counter for probably about half his health, and then Hurricane shot him down for the rest. And thus we actually do kill Orsted. And he's still very hung up on Alicia. And we just say adios. And get an ending. Credits and everything. So yeah, if you elect to finish him off, you get that. And it gives you a full ending and will kick you back to the title screen. As we've seen a couple of other times pop up, like with the Armageddon ending. But the thing is, if you are not over-leveled like I am, pure Odio can actually be a tough battle. That cancel ray he has, if you get locked into a pattern where he's doing nothing but spamming that, it can wreck you pretty freaking hard. Because every time you'll try to queue up any commands, he will just cancel them and get to do a little more damage. which includes healing. So, yeah, if he gets into that pattern, the best thing you're going to be able to do is just to use items on yourself to heal up until he decides to actually hit you with something else. But, really, what kind of ending is that? I mean, that really doesn't look like anything got resolved, does it? Like nothing. As a matter of fact, nothing really did. We just get, and time spun on forever and ever.